Hi everyone, it's Nick, and today I'm going to review the anime series Bungo Stray Dogs. It also, has a manga series and it has several spin-offs. Um, the anime series started, let's see, April 7th, 2016 to present. They've had 55 episodes to date. And the studio behind it is Bones. They do a really good job on it overall. I think actually, by now, I think the series is proving Bones is probably about on par with, the other ones I really like my favorite ones, Mappa, Ufotable, A1 Pictures, Cloverworks, I think they're about on par now. And also Bugworks, another studio, who did the anime series, or the OVA 10-episode series for Blood Lad in 2013, and recently Zom 100 series. So, anyway, I'll read the premise here. Before I read the premise, this show is actually, it seems like it's actually shonen, but it's actually seinen. And seinen, let me see what the difference is. I know shonen's geared toward teens, and mostly toward teens, and also adults, but more teenager male demographic. And what's the difference? Seinen. I'm not exactly sure. I know seinen is geared toward a more adult audience. Let's see. Oh yeah, so seinen, the demographic is typically young adult men between the ages of 18 and 40. I'm sure also older men as well, but it's more in mind with someone who's 18, a man that's 18 and up. While shonen, their target age starts at a lower age, lower age. And let's see, seinen manga, they focus on action, politics, science fiction, fantasy, relationship, sports, or comedy. And then the female version is Josei manga. I think that's how it's pronounced. Let's see. And they're they have more mature content in it, and they're more they have more more cursing and gore and stuff. They're more another example would be like Tokyo Ghoul. It's more violent. It's not quite as censored. It has a lot. It's more unfiltered than something like your average shonen is. And so anyway, get to that's pretty much as I could tell what the difference is. Seinen is geared more toward older, adult men. And the content is has more mature content than something like shonen does. Anyway, so I'm going to read the premise. Let's see. Nakajima Atsushi, who's voiced by Max Millman in the English dub, was kicked out of his orphanage, and now he has no place to go and no food. While he is standing by a river on the bank of starvation, he rescues a man whimsically attempting suicide. That man is Daze Asamu, and his partner Nikita are members of a very special detective agency that goes from there. So, it's the start of the show. And I've seen most of the show by now. Most of it, it has some other ones, like this one called Wan. It's a chibi style version of it. I haven't seen it yet. It's a 12-episode series. I've seen the main series so far, and I've seen most of it. I'm up to season 4, about halfway in. The typical season is 12 or 13 episodes. I think, as I remember, the odd number seasons 1, 1 3 5, they have 13 I think it's 13 episodes, and then the even numbers 2 and 4 have 12 episodes. So you could predict the next season will probably be 12 episodes. So, and so far it's been really good. I'm really liking it. It has it kind of has a film noir style to it. It's pretty cool, and the animation's great. It has great characters. They really flesh out a lot of the characters in the show. I mean, maybe a couple don't get that much focus, but most every character, it's a lot. They get developed quite a bit, especially for a Sanyan series, focuses more on the action. They do manage to get a lot of development in. The show focuses on the relationships. It's kind of like something I would compare it to would be like an average Tarantino movie. They focus a lot on character development and interactions. They have more mature content, something like that. It has kind of a hang on a second. There we go, not disturb. Yeah, it has that kind of vibe to it. Of course, I mean, it's animation is running for a while, so of course it's going to have, at this point, it's bound to show influences some other animes, like they have, or other types of movies. Like they have some fights that kind of remind me like The Matrix, and I think it has that feel to it. I mean, it's its own thing, but by now, like I said, most animes are. It's been around for a while, so it's kind of hard to come up with entirely original content. But they do manage to do a pretty good job of it, keep making it feel fresh. It has a lot of the characters named after literary figures. Like they have, like one example would be, let me see here. Let me see the main. See time. Let me look here. Like every character, they're all named after literary figure. I'm just trying to find out the most, most well-known ones. Give an example. Let's see. They have these Japanese, like Osamu Dazai is one. These are Japanese authors. Tsushi Nakajima, they're various Japanese authors. And then they have other ones. Like Alexander Pushkin, he's a Russian author. Let's see. Let me see who's a. Edgar Allan Poe, of course. There's one. Name one. Herman Melville did Moby Dick. Let's see who else we got here. There's some popular ones most people know about. Mark Twain. And who else? Let's see. A lot of them are Japanese authors. I think they kind of do like novels and manga. I don't know. I haven't checked all who they're based off of. Tom Buchanan. Yeah, they have these. Like a lot of them are Japanese authors, and then they have these other ones from different countries, like Alexander Pushkin and Edgar Allan Poe. It's just references. They don't really have. I mean, some of them kind of reference, like Herman Melville. He had the Moby Dick ship, as I remember. But mostly they're their own thing. They're just referencing these various authors. And yeah, the characters are pretty cool. Like my favorites on the show are probably Dazai. His thing is, he kind of has a nihilistic view in life. He keeps trying to commit suicide, and it's kind of a running gag, especially in the earlier seasons. Like he keeps wanting to. They play that for laughs. He wants to commit a double, joint suicide, for a woman or something. The series, like I said, it opens up with him. He was trying to commit suicide in the river, and it didn't go through. So he ends up getting fished out, and it was kind of funny. He's fished out, and like Atsushi was in shock. He said basically he's trying to commit suicide, but it didn't quite work. It ended up failing. As Daza, I mean. Then they have Grompo. He's one of the detectives at the agency. He's fond of snacking. He's kind of like Daza. He's a wisecracker as well, and he likes to give everyone a hard time. Like sometimes he likes to go tickle them or play mind games with them. And then you have Asushi. He lived in a orphanage, and he got abused by the headmaster there. It's, they show it several times, so it's quite tragic, really. Kind of formed him who he ended up being. It's kind of a message. One message to the show is, these past events can form you. They end up forming you ultimately, who you'll be later, in a sense. And then they have, they have a lot of great quotes on the show. Like Dazai, his thing is, again, he's got a nihilistic view on life, and toward the beginning of the series, he said, basically, things like toys and cars, things are a distraction until the day we die, basically, which, it's kind of a dark view, but I mean, it's kind of interesting as well to think about. It's one view of life. They have other ones as well. That's one of the main ones. Then, let's see, they have, they have a lot of great action scenes. Bones did it. And by now, like I said, I think they've really gotten really quite good. I think they're pretty good to begin with, but, I think they're kind of getting on par with the ones I really love. And they have a lot of great villains on the show. Like, right toward later in the season, there's someone named Theodore. He kind of becomes, I think he's building toward becoming the main. I haven't probably gotten to the point where he ends up getting there, but he's building toward being the main antagonist of the series. Oh yeah, that's another thing. The series, it's not too slow, but it does build up. Kind of each season, 12 or 13 episodes, and it kind of builds gradually. Each season, each episode leads to each season. It builds gradually to events that happen later. And oh yeah, the series. Speaking of I got an itch here. Tarantino type movies. His movies are typically in a out of sequence order. They still tell a story, but they're not. Most of them are not told in order. And that's kind of like how this show is. They have at first it kind of goes in a particular order, and then it goes to previous events like the founding of the agency and Dazai's days in the Port Mafia, which is one of the factions on the show. And then it goes to present. It kind of goes in these sequence. I mean, it manages to tell the story quite well, but it's told in the way it's reminiscent of a Tarantino type movie. And it has a similar lighting to like you see in those movies. You see in a movie like Matrix, kind of dark, moody scenes. They have classical music scenes like they have a choir going on. I'm sure you know what I mean. It's like they have these certain moody, like influence. Again, it's been around. Anime's been around for a while. Like one show, it's another Bone series. I still gotta finish it one day. Series Cowboy Bebop had these type of moody scenes where they had kind of opera music playing in the background, and like there's one episode I was seeing a review on it, kind of get an idea about before I started watching it. The scene where what's his name? I don't remember all the characters in the show. The main character in the show, what is his name here? Let me just look it up. Like Bebop. Okay, what is his name? See, I'll have to go back and see. Oh, Spike Spiegel. There's a scene where he gets shot and he falls through a stained glass window. There's scenes like that on Bungo Stray Dogs, and there's another scene. Luckily, I have the I don't know what you call it, I guess composition. Waltz of the Flowers. There's a scene where one of the villains on the show, Ivan, he was listening to Waltz of the Flowers, and it led to an action scene, and the way he did it was quite brilliant. So it has that kind of feel to it. So if you like that, then like Bob Butler is another example. It has that kind of feel to it. It has a lot of these moody type scenes, kind of dark aesthetic to it. It's presented in this really classy type way. These really stylish type of scenes. So let's see what else. Oh yeah, the music in the show is pretty good overall. Like again, it has these classical music in the show, and it has these choir type parts. And then it has, like in the action scenes, it has this kind of dubstep sound to it, which is pretty cool. It's like, if you've ever heard dubstep, that's what it sounds like. I kind of wish I could find the soundtrack. I tried looking up, I couldn't find it. I'd probably get it if they had it on iTunes. I think they probably have it on YouTube. I'll check it out later. What else? The show actually doesn't have... I mean, it has some fan service. It doesn't really have a ton of it. It's actually not... Again, it's like a little more atypical that way. Something like Attack on Titan doesn't have a lot of it either. It doesn't have like a lot of these... I'm not saying I have a problem with it, but, it doesn't have like a lot of scenes, where women are wearing skimpy outfits and, they end up in compromising positions, like when they're... Like, maybe they tip over and their panties are exposed. It doesn't have a lot of that stuff. I don't think it has any of it, really. Like, maybe there's some scenes like when the male characters are naked, but it doesn't have a lot of fan service, so it's not... it doesn't have a ton of it in there, if any at all, really. But character designs in the show are quite good. I recommend looking... You could check out the thumbnail. I mean, that's the main cast. I mean, they have some really cool designs. Kind of film noir style to it. What else? The show... oh yeah, also... overall the show is pretty dark, but it does have these kind of comedic moments, like Dazai trying to commit suicide and ends up failing, and what else? Like, there's a scene where Atsushi gets all like, what? It has those type moments. He has these kind of funny looks on his face. He's all confused, like, I can't imitate it, but it's those kind of funny faces. And then they have those ones where certain characters are geeking out or something. They got the like something like you see on... They had some of those type of scenes on a Better Bones show, Full Metal Alchemist. They have red marks in their face, and they're all like something like that. They're all geeking out. It has those type of comedic moments in it. They kind of break up dark aesthetic that the show has. It has moments like that, which is great. It does get pretty heavy in the show, which, again, if you're into that, it's really good, but it does have enough comedic moments to break it up. And then it has some really clever scenes, like fight scenes where Kenji was talking about his what was it? I think I uploaded a short of it. He was basically saying, anyway, I forget. I don't remember offhand, but basically, it was a really clever scene. I'll have to post a short of it. And the way it overlapped in the fight scene was quite clever. It was humorous and clever. It has those type of moments too, where they're really just clever. There's a lot of clever writing to it. And I know one offhand. There was a scene where Dazai and his old partner Chuya, it seemed like they were having a fight. It kind of had this text over the screen, and then that's a slight spoiler here. Nothing big. And then when it finally shows what's happening, they were having a battle. They were fighting. They were playing a game in the arcade. It was quite clever and humorous. It seemed like they were fighting, but really they were just competing in the game. So, I mean, that's an example. So, anyway, my video is kind of going a bit long, so... yeah, I recommend checking it out if you like seinen type anime, like shows like Black Butler and Cowboy Bebop, and I like Bones Productions in general. I recommend it. It has a lot of great voice actors. Again, one is Max Moman, that has Ray Chase as Fyodor. Let's see who else does it have. The earlier seasons it had Vic Morgana as Rampo. They changed him in season 3, but it's not too bad. But I mean, it's not too noticeable that you change his voice actor. I'm not sure why exactly. I haven't looked that up. What else does it have? Oh yeah, it has Jameson Price. He plays Fukuzawa, the president of Detective Agency. To name some of the cast that it has. They all do a really good job on the show. So I give the show about, as I've seen, about a 9 out of 10. It's really quite good. It's, I don't know if it's a great entry anime. I think it's more, something I'd probably recommend to start with is My Hero Academia. Let's see, Hero Academia, Naruto. Oh, for shonen. For seinen, I haven't seen enough seinen to really know. I guess, yeah, I can't really say for seinen, but there are other ones I recommend first as entries. This is more like if you've been around a bit. This is a good series to start getting into. And I think they only air it on Crunchyroll. Not sure if they air it anywhere else. They have it on a TV channel in Japan. In the US, you can either get it on DVD or stream it on Crunchyroll. I do it on Crunchyroll. I don't usually buy DVDs. They're kind of expensive. Although I might eventually get it. I might want to get it on DVD at one point. I'm not sure. Anyway, DVD and Crunchyroll. They don't have an Adult Swim. Not yet anyway. I don't know if they're going to air it on there. I think they usually air stuff that's, more entry, something you could get into anime with, like My Hero Academia, Dr. Stone, which I'll also review eventually. Dr. Stone, Naruto, stuff that to get you into it. So, anyways, I'm going to end the video. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe, and if you've seen the shows, let me know your thoughts. Like some of my other videos, just let me know what you think of the show. If you've seen it, and I hope I convinced you to check it out. And stay tuned for my other videos and live streams. I'm going to go back to live streaming either Persona 4 or Hack Volume 2 again. So hope you can check those out. In October, I'm going to live stream Catherine Full Body. I can't wait to do that. It's going to be exciting. I've been wanting to start it, but I'm waiting until October. I think it'll be a perfect game for the month of October. That's kind of if anyone who's seen it has a perfect feel for Halloween. It's kind of like some of my other videos I've stated. I think it was live stream. It's kind of like a sexy psychological platformer. I mean, it's just perfect for Halloween. So I'm going to end here. So thanks for watching, and I will see you again soon.